Hi everyone, welcome back. I am your Somshekar sir from Komadvati Science and Commerce PU College, Shikaripura. In this session, I am going to present you last unit of your English language, Water, written by Chellapalla Swaruparani. Before getting into the poem, let's look into the brief introduction about the poetess. Chellapalla Swaruparani, born in Andhra Pradesh, and she wrote her poems, stories and essays in Telugu language. So this poem originally written in Telugu language and that is translated from Telugu language to English language by Uma Brugabandha. So in this poem, Chellapalla Swaruparani focusing on caste system, and she used water as a metaphor. And here she also used water as a victim for the bad evil of the society. So her matured poetry overall focusing on caste system, gender system, and most importantly the deprived class of the society. Dear students, if you know about the caste system in India, you should go back to the Varna system, which is practiced and started in the Vedic period. In the Vedic period, the Varna system had started. There we have four Varnas like Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishya and Shudras. And they were neglected the fifth Varna, Panchama, the fifth clan of the Varna system. And the Panchama Varna, in Panchama Varna, we saw some untouchable people. And for them, we also call as like untouchables, a Panchama people. And Gandhiji gave a new term for them like Harijan. Government recognized them as like a scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. Here in this poem, Swaruparani focusing on the fifth clan of the Varna system, that is Panchama. By using water, which is present all over the world, she focused on the deprived class from all over the world. How they suffered in the hands of the wicked. The V's hands dominated that Panchama class from the centuries ago. So here in this poem, she focused the caste system. Look at the first pre-reading activities. Here she told us to recall the poems you have read where water has been used as a metaphor. You just recall it. And the second discussion question is there here. Water is both preserver and destroyer. Discuss. Dear students, if the water quenched our thirst, the water become a preserver. The water will going to nourish us, because by drinking water we are going to living. It is an essential aspect to human beings. Just imagine in the outside of the city or outside of this classroom, if the torrential rain rained, thunderstorm rained, what will happen? I am damn sure that rain will bring a lot of flood in the society. Just you imagine last year how Kodagu district and South Kannada district faced the floods. Look at here, in the first form, water used as like a preserver, protector. It quenched the thirst of the human being. The same water, if it is increased and if it is changed its forms, turned out as like a destroyer. You may imagine in 2005 tsunami hits to Indian coastal areas. There the water had taken 100,000 people at a time. It devoured the sea water. So it is a preserver and definitely it is a destroyer. So we are very care about it. Here poet is going to focusing on caste system, how she started her poem. Look at, let's get into the poem here. So Chellapalla Swaruparani, she is going to present her views, matured views to us through this poem. Look at the picture. So here from the pot a water is falling down and the boy is drinking. So he is quenching his thirst by drinking the water. So water is a preserver in this text and it is an essential for all the human beings in the world, and the same water is presented all over the world. It is omnipresent. Let's get into the concept. Just as the water knows the ground's incline. Look at here, what the water knows here, the water knows the ground's incline. Incline meaning here the ground slope, deep. So if you spill the water here, where it will flow, where the ground's incline is there, from the direction the water will flow. Because water only knows the ground's incline here, the slope here. But the same water also become a victim for, it knows the generational old strife between the village and the Vada. The same water become a victim for the generational old strife. Strife meaning here conflicts, war, quarrels. Quarrel, conflict, war between whom? Between village and Vada. So if you take one example of the Indian village, wherever you go you will find this village and there you find a separate Vada. What kind of a people living in the Vada here? The fifth clan of the Varna system, Panchamas, untouchables, Dalits used to live in that Vada. So when the serious matter occurred in between the village people and the Vada people for the purpose of the water, they quarreled together. They made a conflict together. So here the water knows the ground's incline and the same water also knows the old generational strife between the village and the Vada people. They fought together for the purpose of water and the water became a victim for her. So she focusing on the caste system here, like the dampness on the well's edge that never dries, it knows that untouchability never disappears. Look how she told her views for the caste system here. Just imagine there is a well and people used to draw water from the well, and after taking the pot of water, it spilled water fall down. So there around the well you always find the wetness, dampness. It never dries because the next one come and he used to draw the water from the well and he also spill some water and go away. So around the well the wetness and the dampness never dries, it never dries. Similarly in our Indian society the untouchability never disappears. She compared the dampness, wetness around the well, how it never dries. Similarly, that caste system never exists. It never invisible from our society. She compared here by taking the dampness around the well here. Compared the dampness around the well to the untouchability never disappear. It is the thing she explained in the first stanza. So in the next stanza, she focusing on The water knows everything. Look at here. The water knows everything. It knows the difference of race between the Samaritan woman and the Jesus the Jew. So dear students, here she focused on one of the famous incident from the Bible, where Jesus Christ breaks the rule of the society. Here I would like to tell one story, a short story from the Bible. When the Christ used to preach his thoughts to the people, he used to go one place to the another place. During those days, Jews considered as like a superior people, superior race, and the Samaritan people considered as like a lower caste, inferior. So the Samaritan woman or Samaritan people, they do not have a right to touch, speak with the Jews. They are considered as like a deprived class, like a low caste in the society. So once what happened, Jesus Christ felt thirsty and he searched the well and he found a well there, and he also saw a woman used to draw a pot of water from the well. He immediately went in front of her, and Jesus Christ asked the Samaritan woman to offer him water. And that woman immediately told, no, that I belong to the Samaritan. I supposed to not to give a water to you. I supposed to not have a right to speak with you, because you belong to the Jewish. Then Jesus Christ told, you do not bother about all the superstitious beliefs and all these kind of rules, norms of the society. I felt thirsty, and he asked to the Samaritan woman to offer him water. And Samaritan woman offered the water to Jesus Christ. And here Jesus Christ breaks the rule which was made earlier in that society. He breaks the rule here by drinking the water from the Samaritan woman. So here the water knows that incident, and the water become a victim for that incident. So water knows the difference of the race between Samaritan woman and the Jesus the Jews. And the same water in Hindu religion, it knows the difference of the subcaste. Look at here. It also knows the subcaste difference between leather and spool. In Hindu religion, we have a lot of subcastes. Plenty of subcastes are there. Among the all subcaste, there we also have a lot of hierarchy. So here the poet is mentioned that the water knows the difference of the race between Samaritan woman and the Jesus Jews, and the same water also knows the differences of the subcastes between leather and spool. The water is different for the leather, one who used to make slippers or the shoes by using the animal skin, leather, and the spool, the spindles, need the threads. It is different for them and different for them. Water knows the differences between the leather and spool here, the subcaste here, not only the leather and spool, and all the subcaste of Hindu religion. And if you want to read more about all this kind of a subcaste in Hindu religion, I would like to suggest you one book here from the Andhra Pradesh Telugu writer, Kancha Ilaya's work. He wrote a famous book called Why I Am Not a Hindu. Read that. You come to know the difference of the subcaste in our Hindu religion. So here water knows the difference of the race between Samaritan woman and the Jesus the Jews, and the defense of the subcaste in Hindu religion like leather and spool. And the same water become a victim for the agony of the Panchama. Look at the next stanza here. It knows the agony of the Panchama. So Panchama representing here the fifth clan of the Varna system, that is called Dalits or the Harijan. So the water knows the pain, agony, it means pain of the Panchama Varna. What is the pain of the Panchama Varna? Look at here. Who, not having the right to draw a pot of water, waits all day near the well with his empty pot until a Shudra arrives. Look at here. She mentioned the agony of the Panchama Varna. What is the pain of the Panchama Varna during those days? This is. So the untouchable people, they do not have a right to draw water from the well or maybe pond or maybe lake. That was the area restricted and prohibited for the Panchama clan itself, Panchama Dalit people itself, Panchama Varna people itself. What was the fate for them because of their lower caste, or they were considered as like a Dalits? They do not have a right to draw a pot of water from the well, and they have to wait with their empty pot until a Shudra arrives. Whole day until a Shudra arrives. So the Shudra people used to went to the well and they used to draw water from their pot, and they are going to pouring that water for them. Look at their pain here. They do not have a right to touch the well, even they do not have a right to draw a pot of water from the well. This is the pain. Dear student, water is an essential aspect for all human beings. In the article number 15, and here we shouldn't make any kind of a discrimination for water and all these essential things. But somewhere years ago, maybe centuries ago, this was happened to the Panchama Varna people. So she focused on the pain of the Panchama Varna for taking a pot of water in this stanza. In the next stanza, she told here, look, it knows the humiliation of the Vada girl. So water also knows the humiliation of the Vada girl. Here, the term humiliation representing ashamedness. When he who poured the water from a distance fall all over and touches her. Look, usually the Vada girl go to the near the forest, lakes or the pond to draw a pot of water, because this village well and the ponds were prohibited for them because of they born in the lower caste. That is why they used to go to the somewhere miles together to bring water for their day-to-day activity. There, the Vada girl felt lot of humiliation, because when they used to bring the water from the distance, it falls all over her body and makes a humiliation to her. It touches all over the body to her. Look at here. Pour the water from a distance, falls all over and touches her. So here she felt lot of humiliation. Then the next stanza she focused. It knows the riches rage of Karma Chedu Suvartama. Look, the water knows the riches rage of Karma Chedu Suvartama, who opposed the Kamma landlords with her water pot when they asked her not to pollute the pond water. Look, dear students, Karma Chedu Suvartama, she is a female, a woman. When she used to draw a pot of water from from the pond, the upper caste people told to her, you shouldn't pollute the pond water. Then she raised her vessel. Look at here, she raised her pot and opposed the Kamma landlorder. Kamma landlorder is a dominated landlords in Andhra Pradesh. They were dominated heavily and they called themselves as a superior. When those Kamma landlords ordered to Karmachedu Suvartama, you shouldn't pollute the pond water, she raised the arms against them. She raised her empty pot to oppose the Kamma landlorder. Look, they asked her not to pollute the pond water. Then she continued, the water is witness to centuries of social injustice. Look at here, the water is a witness for centuries social injustice. So this was happened centuries years. Then she focused. Then she remembers her childhood days. When I see water, I remember how my Vada, which would thirst all day for a glass of water. Look at here, during the summer days, the Panchama clan people, they supposed to not to touch the drinking water in the village, and even they didn't get a water from the outside of the village itself, in the sense near the forest or anywhere else, they didn't get. That was a difficult time for them. So when Chellapalli Swaruparani sees the water, she remember her childhood. She told her how my Vada, which would thirst all day for a glass of water. So when she remembers the water, she is remembering her past memory. Her Vada people would like to wait for a whole day to quench their thirst, and they are waiting for a glass of water. Look, my Vada which would thirst all day for a glass of water, even they didn't get a glass of water. Just imagine how they were dominated in the society. How the upper caste people taken their privileged rights from them. They were a deprived class. Then she told her, for us in the sense for Dalits, for untouchables, for us, water is not simply H2O. Look at here, water is not a simply H2O. So I hope you are very well know about the H2O, the formation of the water. For us, water is not simply H2O. For us, for the Dalits, for the Panchama clan people, water is a mighty movement. It is a huge movement for them. Mighty representing huge movement. It is the Mahad struggle at the Chadar tank. Look at here. Water for the Panchama clan word, it is not only a simply H2O. It is not only a simply H2O. It is a mighty movement for the Panchama word, Varna people. Mighty, huge movement. And it is the Mahad struggle. Once again, Mahad representing here mammoth, big, massive struggle at the Chadar tank. So at the Chadar tank, usually B.R. Ambedkar, a famous person, one who wrote the Annihilation of the Caste book, he organized the huge struggle at the Chadar tank. So in that place, the Dalits are prohibited to draw water from the tank, from that pond. So Ambedkar organized the Mahad struggle to get their rights. So after that Chadar tank incident, that struggle incident, here the Panchamas Varna clan people allowed to take drinking water from the tank. So he had mentioned all these incidents in his book Annihilation of the Caste. You just go through with that book. Then a single drop of water embodies tears shed over several generations. For taking a single drop of water, okay, it embraces, and for the single drop of water, they cried. They lost their tears. For what? For the single drop of water, and from over several generational, they fought each other. to get the rights to take a water here. Then they continued, in the many battle we fought. So the Panchama clan people fought with the other clan of the people with them for the purpose of taking the single drop of water. In the many battle we fought for a single drop of water. Look at here, for a single drop of water they fought with the other clan of the people. Then she continued, our blood flowed like a stream because during those conflicts, during those quarrels, the dominated class attacked on the Panchamas or the Dalits. During those quarrels or the battles, Dalits were severely wounded. She representing those severe injuries in a one line here, our blood flowed like streams. Just imagine, their blood flowed like a stream. Streams. But we never managed to win even a small puddle of water. But although they battled so many wars, they made several battles, and their blood flowed like a streams for a single drop of water, although at the end they didn't get even a small puddle of water. Here puddle representing a small storage of the water in the pit. It's a small, very meager amount of water storage in that puddle. Although they made a lot of battles, they lost their blood, even some people lost their life, but still, what was the result? Even they didn't win a small puddle of water for drinking purpose. They didn't win. Just imagine their dominancy, the upper caste dominancy in the society. How they dominated of these Panchama clan here. And if you are interested about all these kind of literature, you just read Mulk Raj Anand, Untouchability, the novel, famous novel published in the year of 1935. You come to know the difficulties of the Panchama clan Dalits in the society. There Mulk Raj Anand representing the life of Baka in one day. Okay, so look into the next stanza. When I see water, I remember how we welcomed our weekly bath as if it was a wondrous festival, while the entire village bathed luxuriously twice a day. So just imagine when Challapala Swaruparani sees the water, she is remembering her childhood memories. In the earlier, she remembered how her Vada people would wait for a glass of water the whole day, and now she is remembering how she welcomed her weekly bath. Look, weekly bath. Usually, human being have to take daily bath. It is representing their hygiene. But here, the Panchama clan people, they are welcoming their weekly bath. In the sense, they are going to cleaning themselves for 1 week, because they didn't have sufficient water to do all those hygiene aspects. I remember how we welcomed our weekly bath as if it was a wondrous festival. Look at here, her weekly bath celebrating as like a wondrous festival for them, because for week they are getting a sufficient water to bath. Simultaneously, look at the difference between Vada and the village. So this is the story from the Vada. So she is born and brought up in the Dalit family itself, Challapala Swaruparani, and she used to bath a week once, and she was to celebrating that bath as like a luxurious, wondrous festival. Simultaneously, the village people, while the entire village bathed luxuriously twice a day. Look at here, they had a sufficient water, but they do not allow Panchama Varna or Dalit people to draw it, to take it, to use it. This is called domination. Water is essential and it should be available for all the human beings in the world. But because of the caste system, it is not sufficient for the Vada people here. Okay, let's look into the next stanza. When I see water, I remember. Look at here. When I see water, I remember my childhood. So when she used to see the water, Challapala Swaruparani used to remembering her childhood here. And when we walked miles to reach the big canal, look at here, when we walked miles to reach the big canal and carried back heavy pots with the muscles and veins on our necks straining, bursting. Look, when she sees the water, she used to remembering her childhood. During her childhood, she used to go to the miles together to bring the water. Look at here. We walked 2 miles to reach the big canal. From the canal, they used to bring the water for their day-to-day activities. And they carried the back heavy pots. They used to carry the heavy pots on their neck with the muscles and veins on our necks straining, bursting. Look at here. Those muscles and veins, they are going to bursting out, giving a lot of pain. Because they are carrying the heavy pot on their head from the canal to home, from their wada. So they felt lot of pain. The neck muscles are going to pain. When they are used to carrying the pot water from the canal to home, they felt lot of straining and bursting. Those muscles are going to be burst. Because of the pain, they carried the heavy pot from the canal to home here. Canal to Vada here. They felt that pain. So when she remembered the water, she remembered her childhood and how they used to bring the water from the big canal and how they felt that pain. It was a bursting, straining one. Then she told, I remember its thatched roof aflame, the Mallapalle burning to ashes for want of a pot of water. So when she see the water, she is also remembering because of the want of the pot water. Here the Mallapalle, it is one kind of a village, it is burnt because of the water here. Look at here, it's thatched roof of flame. So in that Mallapalle village, some upper caste people, they burned the Dalit house. That thatched roof of flame, that straw bed home, burned because of the quarrel between the village and the Vada people. So here the upper caste people, they burned the Mallappalle's Panchama people home. Flame representing here fire. Those Mallapalle Dalit homes fired because of want of a pot of a water. What was the reason behind that? Why Mallapalle Dalit houses burned aflame here? Because the Dalits asked their right to take a pot of water from the well or maybe pond. It was angered by the upper caste people and they went together, grouped, and they attacked on the Dalits. During that war, they fired their home, Dalit's home. So when she sees the water, Challapala Swaruparani remembering its thatched roof of flame, the Mallapalle burning to ashes, the Mallapalle entire Vada, that Vada burned as like ashes. What was the reason behind that? For want of pot of water. Because of that water. Water is not a simple thing. Look at it, it is not a simple thing. It can give life, but it can also devour lives. So water is not a simple thing. Water can give a life, it nourishes us. But similarly and simultaneously, water can also devour lives. It will going to swallow our lives in the term of tsunami or the floods. The water that refuse to quench parched thoughts become the killer tsunami waves. I already explained all these things. So if the water is refused to quench the parched thought of our human beings, it might be turned out as like a killer tsunami wave. If it is not in the preserver mode, definitely it will turn out as like a destruction mode. It changed its form from preserver, nourishes to killer tsunami. And the same, and if it is become a tsunami, it swallowed, look at here, the water, the tsunami that swallowed whole village after village. So if you just go through with a web link and watch the 2005 tsunami attack on the coastal areas of Indian borders, you come to know how it is, and the severe destruction of the tsunami if it is refused to quench the thirst of our thoughts. So it is very clear, water is not a simple thing. It can give a life, it can devour a life. And if it is refused to quench the thirst of our human beings, it will turn out as like a tsunami and swallowed village after village. Then she explained, the poor are but playthings. Look at here, in the water, who will be going to felt more destruction here? The poor people. The poor are but playthings. Here the poor people just are playthings in the hand of the water. Look, the poor are but playthings in its vicious hands. In this the cruel hand, in the cruel hand of the water, the poor people are the playthings, just a playthings. So they are getting a lot of damage because of the water here, if it is turned out as like a tsunami. So the poor are but a playthings in the vicious hands, vicious representing here in the cruel hands of the water. Often it turns villages into dry deserts. Look at here how the poor are playthings in the hands of the water here, in the cruel hands of the water here. Often the water turns village into a dry desert. Just imagine in the year of 2018 and 17, we felt lot of drought in the society. So in the year of 2017 and 18, we didn't get a sufficient rainy season. All the villages turned out as like a drought, deserts. We didn't get a good crop. Even we felt lot of problem for drinking water. So the water is making a lot of trouble to the poor people, not to the rich one. And the poor people representing here Dalits, as for the poet. It turns villages into dry desert, and sometimes it draws them in floods. In 2019, in 2018, we felt lot of drought. And in 2019, just imagine how flood brought a lot of devastation in some district in Karnataka, Kodagu, North Kannada, South Kannada. How it brought the floods, and even in North India made a lot of floods. So water in its cruel hand, poor people are the playthings. Sometimes water can bring a good for us, or maybe if it is changed as like a tsunami, it will take our life. And here it often turns the villages into dry desert, and it often turns on the floods here. So as for all these things, who will be the suffering people? Only the poor people. The rich won't affect from them. Then in the next stanza, between village and the Vada, between one state and another, this water can ignite many struggles and strife. Look, water is the victim, and the water in its cruel hand, it brought lot of devastation in the society. It bring the conflict between village and Vada, okay, and it bring the conflict between state and another state. Just imagine for the Kaveri water, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, fought together, so many battle. So what is the igniting, sparking thing here? Water, Kaveri river water. So the water bring lot of conflict between village and Vada, and it also bring the between one state and another state. This water can ignite many struggles and strife. So the water here igniting the many struggles and conflicts. Strife in a sense conflict, war, quarrels. Just imagine if the Karnataka and Tamil Nadu raise the issue of the Kaveri river water, definitely we have a strike. And from the strike, who is going to suffering? Poor people are going to suffering. So water is igniting all these kind of struggles in the society here. It can make blood run in streams. Look at here, water can make blood run in streams. Because of want of water, the people are fought together. Here the state fought together. Even the countries fought together. So the water make blood run in streams. So in that battle, so many people are dying, and they are lost their blood, and their blood lost flow like a streams here because of the water. But it can also sit innocently in a Bisleri bottle. Look at here, the water brought all this devastation, and it can make blood run in streams. The same water also sit innocently in a Bisleri bottle. Bisleri bottle, they will ask one more question here, where water sit innocently. So the water sit innocently in a Bisleri bottle here. So water can do all these things. It bring lot of devastation, and also it can sit innocently in the Bisleri bottle. This water from our village well that forces us to do many a circus feast. Chellapala Swarupurani, basically a Dalit writer, because of she is belonged to the Dalit, and because of that water she decided to achieve something in her life. And she told here, this water from our village this water from our village well that forces us to do many circus feast. So that water from her village well, that water forces to the Chellapala Swarupurani to do many achievement in her life. She raised her voice against the injustice. She raised her voice against the gender discrimination. She raised her voice for all deprived class in the society. So that water from her village well forced poetess to make a lot of achievement in the society. Because of that, she made a lot of achievement. Now slowly, surreptitiously dances its way into the Pepsi's man's bottle. So now the same water slowly, surreptitiously, it is dances its way into the Pepsi's man's bottle. The same water now it went very smoothly, nicely inside the Pepsi's man's bottle with its new name, mineral water. Look at here, in the Pepsi, the water changed its name. In the Pepsi bottle, the water is considered as like a mineral water with its new name, mineral water. It takes to the skies, it rises a storm. So that is a evaporation system, you know that one. So water takes the sky and it rises a storm here. It brings a storm here. So the water can sit innocently in the Bisleri bottle, and the water in the Pepsi man's bottle took the new name called mineral water. Mineral water. Now water is no mean matter. Now at the present, the caste system is no more exist, and the water is no mean matter also, because everyone is having a right to draw water from the well, pond or tank, anywhere else. So water is no mean matter here right now. And even caste system and untouchability in the society maybe existed somewhere else, still maybe it is in somewhere else, but it is no matter right now. Water is no mean matter, it is multinational market commodity. Look at here, the water is a multinational market commodity. As they say, water is omniscient, it contains the world. Now look, at present water become a multinational market commodity, market thing. And as they say, water is omniscient, it present all over the world. Omniscient in the sense it present all over the world, it contains the world. So this is what poem by Chellapalli Swaruparani. This poem translated from Telugu language to English language by Uma Brugabandha. So entire poem, the poetess talk about the caste system, how the Panchama Varna people suffered for the taking a pot of water in their life, how the water become a victim for centuries injustice. You should remember one thing here, in the Vedic period, the caste system is depended on from their work. So if you supposed to do a warrior work, you are belong to the Kshatriya, or if you supposed to do some business, you are belong to the Vaishya. So the system in the earlier, in the Vedic period, recognized from their work, but later what happened, the same caste system, the Varna system, later recognized from their birth. Earlier they were recognized from their work, but later, right now in the present scenario, it is recognized from their birth. Take an example of Mahabharata. Karna, he is the greatest warrior. Because of he born in the Suta caste, he was considered as like a Suta Putra. So here they considered his birth instead of his work. The present scenario, it is also like this. They are recognizing their caste because of their birth. What my suggestion is, caste system, you shouldn't make any discrimination. All humans are one. Remove your bad evils and bad prejudice from your mind. Remove it. Treat everyone as like a Indians, as like a human beings. Then definitely our life will be a happy one. You shouldn't make any discrimination that we are superior, that these people are the inferior. Shouldn't. You remove your bad thoughts from your mind, look into the good views of the society, then consider everyone as like a human being, then there will be a happiness in the society. So this is the poem from the Chellapalli Swaruparani, and she expressed her view towards the deprived class and the fifth clan of the Panchama Varna in the Varna system. So this is the poem, and if you have any kind of doubts, comment me in the comment box. I will reply to you, and if you like the poem, please hit the like button and share as much as possible to your friends. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Bye bye.